Spearhead from Space is a pivotal story in Doctor Who's history. It was the first serial to be broadcast in colour, the first appearance of the Autons, and, more importantly, the first appearance of the Third Doctor played by the late great Jon Pertwee. I'm friends with his great-great-nephew. They just so happen to have a band. They're really good, you should check them out. You like that new intro? Certainly hope so, because it took 3 weeks to get working. Hello and welcome back! I have no idea how long I've been away for at the time of uploading, but hopefully it wasn't too long. This week, a nice 4-parter to get us adjusted with the new status quo. As many of you may already know, things changed at the old BBC back in 1970. Budgets changed, new main actor, the decision to focus on more Earth-based stories, which they expertly wrote into the ongoing story, the Doctor. Freshly regenerated, forced to be exiled on Earth by the recently introduced Time Lords, is welcomed to the screen in glorious fashion by falling face first out of the TARDIS. Actually, they do quite a good job of obscuring his face for quite a while, only getting the odd glimpse until we finally get a good look at him. Obviously a deliberate decision for some sort of build-up, I guess. It's also a good excuse for some more character building that weaves intricately into the story. After fainting out of the TARDIS, the Doctor is brought to some kind of, well, just a hospital, where he undergoes standard tests. Well, standard human tests. We get the first mention of him having 2 hearts, clearly alien DNA, it's good stuff. Before too long, we are reintroduced to good old Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart and companion-to-be, Liz Shaw. We'll be seeing a lot of those two in the next couple of seasons. Something I admire quite a lot is how they perfectly develop the A and B plot, so they build up to the moments where the two collide. The main plot is the Doctor, high on regeneration energy as they say, coming to terms with his new physicality and appearance, and also trying to convince the Brigadier that he is in fact, the Doctor. Meanwhile, a plastic toy company has been taken over by some creepy geezer with sinister purposes, and an influx of unidentified meteorite crashes having something to do with his nasty plan. And of course, the Auton reveal is so cool. Maybe it was frightening at the time, and I guess if you've got a very specific phobia, this could be terrifying, but while it didn't disturb me, I think that all the horrified reactions of all the actors did an excellent job at selling the terror of these mannequins come to life. No idea why they were only used twice before the revival series, but it makes a nice box set, I suppose. Their design has to be the cheapest and yet most effective creature design yet. And I've always loved that simple hand movement where they raise their arm and half of it falls away, revealing a hidden weapon. It's great. In fact, a lot of it's great. Jon Pertwee's first scene was amazing and had me physically laughing. He does an excellent job portraying Patrick Troughton's personality coming to terms with his new body before eventually adopting his new persona. Something I hadn't really seen in a regeneration throughout the whole of the show's history before. Normally it's new body, new voice, new mannerisms, new everything. But here, I can really sense there's still a little bit of the Second Doctor left in him, trying to come to terms and move on from what just happened in the War Games. Although there was this one random throwaway line where the Doctor says, "Lost his memory." I have no idea if that'll come into play later or is significant in any way, but I guess we'll see. Hello, me from the future, here to confirm that that line about memory loss never comes back or is never referenced again for the rest of the season, so don't know what that was about. What else? Oh, there's a good bit of fun interjected with this brilliant wheelchair chase. We've got all the unit soldiers trying to chase after him and the Doctor's just aggressively pushing himself along in a wheelchair. It's great. That actually leads into something else I really appreciated. No, something that I loved. Every single scene, from what I could tell, was filmed in a real-world location, not a studio set in sight. It really, really went a long way into informing the viewer that yes, this isn't the black and white play sets that you're used to. I've said it before, and it rings true here. It really does help to increase immersion. Oh man, I swear I didn't love this serial when watching it, but just poring back over my notes, I realised that they really did pull off something special here. The music is suitably ominous. It's really well directed, with fairly complex camera movements, including tracking shots and maybe even a couple of crane shots, and it's good. Actually, the only thing that dropped the ball has to be this one scene where supposedly a dog is barking off screen and then gets attacked by an Auton, but it's very clearly just a guy making dog noises like you couldn't just go out and record a dog? I wish that I could play that scene for you, but the BBC has been so strict with any clips used in my reviews, and seeing as I'm only just eligible for monetization, like, I like that 12 cents a month. Even that 10-second edited clip from my Dominators review got the video blocked and I had to re-edit it. It's just infuriating, so I won't chance it. And actually, something else that I want to show but couldn't, but honestly probably shouldn't, is there's actually quite a graphic depiction of death in Spearhead from Space. Somebody crashes a van off the road and like into a tree, and it actually briefly shows his head has gone through the windshield of the van with quite a bit of blood on screen. Maybe a sign of more mature things to come? Or just like a one-off thing that they have to get away with and the censors were like, no, stay away from that. Maybe it was a statement like, hey, we've gone from black and white into colour, let's show the red blood on screen. Like, I mean, I'm sure there has been like a little bit of blood before, like maybe a cut on the hands, because obviously 60s Doctor Who, very bloodless. And this, yeah, I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point. Anyway, all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed watching Jon's third Doctor run around doing his thing. The few action scenes with the Autons were great, with practical explosions and blasts and such. The final boss, Nestine, was this gross, practical tentacle creature effect that honestly doesn't age well, but probably looked great at the time, and just so happened to be when one of my flatmates walked in and saw that on screen, like, what the heck are you watching? I admire the fact that they used a modest 4-part story to reintroduce viewers into the world of the Doctor Who, and the new status quo, as I said. You've got Earth-based stories, working with Unit, a new Doctor companion duo with the Brigadier in pretty much every episode. Any longer than 4 parts, and it might have dragged a bit. And I'll admit, I am quite nervous that the rest of Season 7 are all 7-part serials. Oy. Well, we'll cover them when we cover them. Thanks for watching. Don't get used to the setup because it'll be changing shortly. I don't have the next serial on DVD, so I gotta crawl on back to Daily Motion to watch it. Ugh. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great time. Hopefully see you next week.